You can really see those bent pins now. So it is coming loose now. That's a clean pull, all right.
Hello, this is Talmer and welcome to another repair video. In this video, we're going to be working on an Xbox. What is this creature? It's an Xbox Series S. There it is right there. And it has an issue with its HDMI port. Let's have a look at it.
So zooming in immediately, because that's the only way you're going to see this. There's the HDMI port, and you can see right on the end, those pins have been clipped. Cracked right across there. You also notice that the clasp itself is a little bit busted up as well. You can just slightly see that. We'll be able to see it a little bit better underneath the microscope. But that is what we're working on and what we're having issues with. So this video is not about showing you how to get into this. If you're wanting to know how to get into one of these, there are lots of videos on how to get into them. Just Google it. You will find it. Xbox Series S teardown or disassembly or something like that, and that'll get you there. This video is focusing on getting that HDMI port out and replaced. So there's the port. Let's focus. Look at that. You can really see those bent pins now. Now I just wanted to have a look at the inside, like the back of the port as well. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any problems with it, but I just wanted to see whether or not we've got any torn traces, and I don't think we do. I think it's just, it's had a chunk taken out of it in the process of somebody trying to plug it in, basically. But yeah, everything here looks quite normal. Factory flux. It's clean, nothing's torn. It's good and healthy. We can get this out. Trying to get this out as far as I can possibly get it on my microscope, and I just can't. I guess I could show you the back just so you guys can see the pins starting to melt. Now, if I was doing this for the actual port itself, for the new one, I wouldn't do this, but for this one, I'm going to be heating from above instead. So we need to increase the temperature of this all the way up to 480 degrees Celsius. We want to get this port off relatively fast. And I'm going to increase the airspeed to, I think, about maybe 75%. And let's turn the vent on before I forget. Okay, got my tweezers ready. Heat gun is up to temperature. Let's get this thing off. Oh. I gotta get these. There's some foam things that I need to get off as well. I don't want them to burn. It's quite close. Yeah, got it. Gotta heat up a fair chunk of the board. This board is relatively thick, so if you stick it all in one area for a while, I mean, you could bubble the board, and if you do that, you're screwed. So spread the heat out, get the board warm, do a little bit of preheating, and you should be in good shape. Then you can start focusing in. To some degree, this may actually be easier to do from the bottom. Screw this. I'm being silly. Let's flip it. And that has brought my attention to some foam that needed to be removed. See that? Good long stretch of it. Okay, that's it. What am I talking about right now? I'm having problems getting the port out, which to me indicates that I need to add a little bit of solder into this. I need a new tip. I actually need a new tip. I've completely messed that one up. I don't know if this one's even going to work for me. Not really. The problem with this is it doesn't have enough surface area. If I use heat gun together with this might help. It ain't patience at this point. The reason why you need patience is if you try to get into this too early, you could end up tearing pads. So it is coming loose now. I think it was a clean pull. It looks clean to me. That's a clean pull, all right. Let's toss that port in the garbage immediately. The reason I'm saying that is because I have put the same port right back on by mistake. So, never again. Let's put some flux on and get some fresh solder on this. This is really not optimal for me that I am using a tip that is so small. All I can really do is try to increase the mass of the tip of the soldering iron by adding more solder. It'll provide some, but it's not really adequate. Okay, I'm going to use a solder sucker and just turn down my airspeed as well. Now this is a part that like you can go back and forth on whether or not this is necessary to do. You could just like heat it up and drop it in place. That would be fine. That does work. But another option is you can just use the heat gun to suck up those. Then you could drop it in place. You get a little bit more control. I'm going to turn down the airspeed to around 50%. Once I see those cones disappear, I'll know that I'm ready to go and suck that solder up. There we have it. Nice and clean. I do have a little ball of solder that flew off to the side. You guys can't see it, but I can definitely see it. There it is. Let's just wick all this up. Not working as well. As I said, this is not really the correct tip to use for this. It's done a pretty good job, all considering, but I just gotta give this a quick clean. I should probably heat up the board just a little bit just to get this cleaned up. It's a lot easier to clean away this flux if the board has been, yeah, you can see now it's liquid. It's a really good idea to clean as you go, because as you continue working at this, it's going to get harder and harder. The flux itself, it will get really hard. And when that happens, it just becomes really difficult to remove it all. So it's a really good idea to clean as you go. There is also some of these little guys here down at the bottom. I'm not nearly as concerned about them. I'm just going to add a little bit of new leaded solder to the bottom on all these. They connect to the bottom of the port. Okay, we're ready. I'm gonna put leaded solder on the whole shot. Just be done with it. I gotta heat up the board first to do this, but I can even fill in those holes. The reason I'm heating up the board first is because, once again, my tip for my soldering iron, that tiny little hooked tip, is just not going to cut it. So I'm putting a little temp heat into the board first. Alright, those pins are tinned. Let's tin the port. Now this bit is not as important. I could probably get away with not doing it. But I've been watching Joey Does Tech, his channel, for a while, and he's always been really successful by pre-tinning the port. And I've learned a lot from him. And you can see somebody that's always tinning the port and it's always very successful. It's kind of an indicator that probably it's not a bad idea to do likewise. Do the same. On the other hand, I've seen other YouTubers also not tin the port at all in advance, and it works out just fine. So, I don't know. There's the pins right there. Kind of look like they've already been pre-tinned, in my opinion, but I'm going to do, I'm going to slather on the smallest amount of flux. Even that's actually a bit much. It's done and dusted. Let's get this port fixed in place. I can't do this underneath the microscope. Now, this isn't the best solution for this, but I don't know, it'll work pretty good. I need to have this as close as possible to the edge. I really need to get a better board holder. That's the real issue. I'm gonna add a little bit of flux. Not an incredible amount. If I put too much, it can cause problems. Okay, time to get it heated up. I'm gonna turn down the temperature to 450 now. Maybe 460. 460? Yeah, I'll do 460. So we need to be watching for basically those joints. They need to become liquid. And once that happens, we'll know that we can toss that port in. Left side's going molten. And the right side's going molten. You notice I'm still heating from the bottom? It's because I gotta get that port up to temperature. I think we're good to go now. Okay. Let's take a look. Here is the port itself. I'll put this on an angle so we can see those pins. How'd we do? I don't think they're perfectly aligned. I can tell you that immediately. I can see a couple that just... You can see how they all look slightly off to the right. But what's... Like, the pads are decent in size, mind you, but still, I would have preferred it a little bit more centered. They are solid, though. Oh, there's one that's loose. I'll touch that one up. Literally one. There was just one that was slightly loose. This one right here is slightly loose. Stabilizing the soldering iron both with my right hand, which is holding the soldering iron, and my left hand, I'm holding it as well, just holding it slightly with it, and that helps stabilize it, you know? Those other pins didn't need touching up. I just couldn't identify clearly which pin it was that was moving. So I just did an extra on both sides. That worked out perfectly. Give this a good clean. I'm gonna put this all... Well, you know what? Let's take a look at the joints around the legs. Is there enough solder? Yeah, it sucked up the sides. There might be too much on the back. There is. Yeah, the bumps are a bit high. Let's try to take a little off. When the soldering iron is sticking to the solder, it's a pretty strong indicator that your soldering iron, or at least the tip itself, is not providing enough heat. So the only reason why this is working as well as it is working is because the soldering iron I'm using is... The thing that provides the power to it is pretty darn amazing. It's I'm gonna have to use the heat gun for this though. It's just not adequate. There's still a little bit more flux underneath there. That cleaned up pretty darn well though, I gotta say. That's just a piece of paper towel, a little slice of paper towel with some isopropyl alcohol just to clean it up. And that did a pretty phenomenal job, I gotta say. That's all done. I can get the system back together, at least to some degree. I gotta put on some new thermal paste and give it a test. And that one is another device completely fixed, done and dusted. I've already sent it off to the customer. They've already got it, so you guys can't even see it tested. I'm so sorry. But I have in fact fully tested it, and it is in fact working fine. So I do want to make one really quick point here. When I plugged it in, it said something like unknown display or incompatible connection or something like that, or out of range. And that's simply caused by the Xbox being set up in 4K, and you're plugging into a display that's less than 4K. So here my screen was in 1080p, so I had to go and put it into low resolution mode, which is simply you just hold the sync button at the same time you're holding the power button. You hold it for about like 5 to 10 seconds till you hear a second beep, a second chime, And then it should work. You might need to turn it off again, but it should pop up pretty much immediately.
So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you liked the video, please do leave a like. And if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.